Hey everybody, I'm Russo and I do a little work here and there. This is the second week for Russo Works Research What? And this week we're going to talk about Papercraft. So what is Papercraft? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is crafting with paper, any kind of paper. Thin paper, thick paper, big paper, small paper. You can fold paper, you can glue paper, you can cut it up, you can not cut it up. You can do pretty much anything you want, as long as it's crafting and it's paper. But traditionally when people say papercraft, they either mean origami or some sort of card modeling. So heavy paper, paperboard, cardstock, foam, cardboard, that sort of thing. Most of what I'm going to be talking about is the card modeling, so making scale models, most of the time out of cardstock, but if they're scratch built, you can use pretty much anything. Of course, this sort of thing's been around for a while, and it was probably most popular around World War II, when paper was pretty much the only thing we had a surplus on. And even though it was most popular during World War II, here's a cardboard model of the Scott Monument in Edinburgh. This was done in 1860. 1860. It's just that today, it's a lot easier to do. If you had a 3D model of this monument, you just slice it up, print it out, and glue it together. Sometimes people call this cardboard engineering. Of course, even today, most paper models tend to look like PlayStation 1 polygon graphics. A lot of them are not very detailed, and while inorganic objects like cars and tanks and airplanes are pretty easy to make, organic shapes are a lot harder. Try to make a sphere. Just try. That being said, if you're willing to make something either very large or cut out very small pieces of paper, you can make some really nice and really detailed models. You combine that with some other techniques and you can sort of see where we're going. Of course, I mentioned the slicing and the printing, and I'm sure everybody by now has heard of 3D printing, either with plastic or any other number of different substrates. But I guess not a whole lot of people have thought about using paper for rapid prototyping. You can save a whole lot of time, especially if you have some machine to cut the paper out for you, as opposed to doing it by hand. Using some of the methods that we've already talked about on this channel, you can really crank out a lot of detailed pieces in relatively little time and with relatively little effort. Over the course of this week, we're going to try a few different projects, mostly using cardstock, but we'll get a few different paper products in there. And we're going to start tomorrow with a simple bas relief, and this is really useful for brick textures, cobblestone, decorative carvings, things like that. And of course you can take it a little bit further and you can do sort of sculptures in the round. We'll get to that a little bit later. But that's all for the Monday episode of Research What? Come back tomorrow to see another video. Till then, as always, rate, comment, and subscribe if you're so inclined. Till then, you've been watching Russo Works. Russo, out.